So in the last session, we discussed basically how to calculate the velocity vector for mechanism. Right? So uh, we saw that there are two important things which we have to note while drawing a velocity diagram. So the first point is always draw that vector first, which is completely known to you, right? So a vector which is known in magnitude as well as direction. So this is the first point which we have to remember. The second thing is, let's say if you have to draw a set of two vectors, right? And if you know the directions of those two vectors, then also it is possible to find the magnitude of those two vectors, right? So if two vectors are given in direction, then it is possible to find their magnitudes, right? So these 2 points you have to keep into your mind, right, while drawing a velocity diagram. So today what will we will be doing, today we will be taking certain numerical problems and we will try to explore it further, that how can we draw the velocity diagram for certain complex mechanisms, right? So I think probably even if I give you some numerical values, so for 4 bar mechanism and then a slider crank mechanism, it is easier for you to follow that approach and draw the velocity diagram. So let us take some complex mechanisms today, right, and try to solve these problems. So now this is 300, 100, right? And again this. So this is a basically configuration which is given to us. So all these dimensions which are marked here, all these dimensions are in mm. So just remember this, that all dimensions are in millimeters, correct? Now, what is, let us say, given to us, and then what we have to find out. Let us discuss about that. So us let us mention what is given to us. So first of all these lengths, they are provided to us, right? So the length of all the links in the mechanism, that is provided to us. Then second, it is given to us that the crank OA, right? So this is your crank here. So OA rotates at 150 RPM in the clockwise direction. So this is one point which is given to us, and then the length of all the links is provided. So now what we have to find out. So let us go one by one. So first you have to find out the velocity of slider. So let me mark these points very quickly, right? So this is your A, this is your B, then this point is C, right? And then this point is D, and this point is Q. So the first thing which you have to find out is the velocity of a slider, B. Then second is angular velocities of QB and AV. Third. Okay, fine. So these two things which we have to find out. So let us first start with the velocity of a slider D, right? So first of all, before going to draw the velocity diagram of this mechanism, so make this very clear into your mind that if you have been given a complex mechanism, the first step is to break down this complex mechanism into simpler mechanism, right? So let us say here, what you are seeing, this is a complex mechanism. Now this mechanism, if you see here, that it is made up of two simple mechanisms, right? So first of all, what you have to do, break into simpler mechanism, right? So now, if you see here, so this complex mechanism, it is composed of two simple mechanisms. So the first one is OABCQ, right? So first one is OABQ, right? And the second mechanism is DCQ, right? So for now, we are just assuming that these two are separate mechanisms, although they are a part of a larger configuration, right? So they are part of this entire mechanism, but for some time, just to make our problem easier to solve, we are assuming that these two are separate mechanisms, right? So now, first of all, just tell me on what basis I divided these two mechanisms, right? So this thing you have to make very clear. So on which basis I divided this mechanism? Can anyone answer?
The type of the motion.
Type of motion, that is one point. Another thing is how I identified that these two mechanisms will be separate. So we can assume that these two mechanisms are separate mechanisms. So if you remember the definition of a mechanism, what is a mechanism? A mechanism is a closed kinematic chain in which one link is fixed. So two important things are there. First of all, the mechanism should be a closed kinematic chain. And the second point is the link, one particular link of that mechanism, it should be fixed, right? So now can you tell me how I decided this here? See, it's very easy. Always remember, whenever you break a complex mechanism into simpler mechanism, you have to first follow that which are the closed loops and where the link is fixed, right? So if you see here that OABQ, OABQA, it is going to form a closed loop. And again, the link OQ of this closed loop, it is fixed. So it can be treated as an individual mechanism. And here also, if you observe DCQ, right? So DCQD, it can form a closed kinematic chain. And again, the link DQ of this mechanism is fixed, right? So always remember that whenever you break a mechanism, just always focus your attention on these fixed points, right? So based on these fixed points, you can break your complex mechanisms into simpler mechanisms, right? Now let us start with this mechanism OABQ. So first we will try to draw the velocity diagram for this one, OABQ. Okay. So can anyone tell me what should be my first step? So what should I do first?
First we find out the relative motion of B with respect to A and O.
Right. So So right now, just let us write down the vector equation, right? So let us write down the vector equation. So you are interested to, let's say, find out the velocity of B, right, with respect to A. Okay, so let us start with this vector equation only. So velocity of B with respect to O, right? Correct. Velocity of B with respect to O, that is equal to velocity of B with respect to A plus velocity of velocity of A with respect to O. Okay. So this is one vector equation which we formed for this velocity of point B, right? So it's obvious why I started my analysis with this point B. Can anyone give me the reason? So why I started my analysis with this point B?
So point Q and point O are fixed points, so we can consider as a point.
Right. So see, point Q and O are fixed. The velocity of this point A. So is it known to us or not?
Yes.
Right. So this is known to us, right? So always we will follow the sequence. O, then we will go to the velocity of this point A, then we will try to find out the velocity of this point B, and so on, right? So here it's obvious that this velocity of point A is known. So that's why we are starting from this, right? Velocity of point B. Now just tell me quickly here that out of these two, right, which vectors are completely known? So let us say if I am going to start this thing with, let's say, VBO, right? VBO. So is this VBO completely known in magnitude? First of all, let's talk of magnitude. So is it known in magnitude, velocity of B with respect to O?
No, sir.
No, right? Is it known in direction? Just think about this.
It will be perpendicular to AB.
Perpendicular to AB. So that is VBA, but I'm talking about VBO.
No, sir. Direction is not also known.
Okay. So is there any way to figure out the direction of this velocity of point B? So see, this is very easy. So whenever you have such situation, just try to look at the nearer fixed point, which is close to this point B, right? So see, since O and Q both are fixed, so we can write down this thing as velocity of B with respect to Q, right? So now is it known in direction? We can always write it down. We can replace this velocity of B with respect to O by velocity of B with respect to Q, right? Because it doesn't matter. O and Q are both are fixed points. So now is it known in direction or not? So this VBQ, is it known in direction?
Perpendicular to BQ.
Right? So that means it is known in direction, correct? So now this VBQ is perpendicular to PQ. So this is very similar analysis which we did for the 4-bar mechanism and slider crank mechanism in the last session, if you remember, right? So we replace this vector with the one, right, which is giving us the direction. So now this is VBO. Now let us talk about VBA. Is it known in magnitude? Is it known in magnitude? Velocity of B with respect to A.
So it's 300.
No. This 300 is the length. I'm talking about velocity of B with respect to A.
Sir, we have given OA rotates at 150 RPM, so we know the velocity.
Right. So right now what I'm talking about the velocity of B with respect to A. Is it known or not? It's
No, sir.
No. So the magnitude is not known. Direction, is the direction known?
Perpendicular to AB.
Perpendicular to AB. So direction is known and this direction is perpendicular to AB, right? Now see, let's go back to this VAO, right? Now let's go back to this VAO. So is it known in magnitude?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Correct? So what will be the magnitude of this? Can you give me the formula? Velocity of A with respect to O. What will be the magnitude?
R omega.
R omega. So what is R here?
100.
150.
100 mm. So let us convert this to 0.1, right? So it will be simply omega AO multiplied by OA, right? So 0.1. And what is omega AO? What is this?
150.
150. So how do we calculate? How do we convert it into radian per second?
Pi n by 60.
2 pi, then 150 divided by 60, right? So this is known in magnitude, right? Now let us talk of direction. Is it known in direction?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, the direction will also be known, and that is perpendicular to what? O,
AO.
A,
Yeah.
right? And we also know that it is in clockwise direction, right? So we can figure out this OA will be upwards or upwards?
Upwards.
Upwards. Very good, right? So this is going to turn like this. So obviously this will be in upward direction. Okay, so now let us start with the vector, start drawing the vector which is completely known to us, and then everything will become clear to you, right? So whenever you draw this into your sheets also, right? So just try to maintain some space, right, on one side, then it becomes easier. Otherwise, like it becomes too much messy. So always draw this to one side and then leave sufficient space for drawing your velocity diagram, right? So now let us mark first of all the fixed points. Let us mark all the fixed points. So what are the fixed points here? O. Then tell me what will be the next fixed point? Comma.
Q and G.
Q and
Q,
G.
comma, G, right? So first we have to draw the what? VAO vector, velocity of A with respect to O. So now this should be perpendicular to this OA. So let me, so see, you have to always use some roller scale or something, but right now, since it is not possible for me to show this thing here, right? So I'm just drawing it roughly. So now this OA, it should be perpendicular to this OA, right? So it will be something like this. Right? So this is your OA, correct? Now, which vector we have to draw next? Just tell me.
AB.
AB, right? And can we draw AB? Right now, is the magnitude and direction both are known for AB? Obviously
No.
not.
No, sir.
So now, how to proceed for this? So if you remember in the last
First
session,
we will draw BQ and then
right, and then we
will join the
correct.
BO.
So
Yeah.
see again the direction of these two vectors. So one is VBQ and another one is this VBA. Both are known to us. So now it becomes very easy. So first of all, we have to draw this, right? VBQ perpendicular to PQ, right? So just tell me how to draw this. So velocity of B with respect to Q, right? So obviously through this point Q, we will draw a line which is going to be perpendicular to this BQ, correct? So let me draw this line through Q, right? Draw a line which is going to be perpendicular to this BQ. Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Right now, we cannot say like this. Also, let me use a different ink here. Okay. So what should be the next step? So this is fine. So we draw the direction for this VBQ velocity vector, right? So we draw the direction for this. Now what should be my next step? So what should be my next step? See, we draw VBQ. Now let us draw this VBA.
BA, yeah.
So how to draw this?
It will be perpendicular to AB from A.
Right, very good. So this is very obvious. So now through this point A, we will draw a line which is perpendicular to this AB, right? So let me show this. This is here somewhere AB, right? And through A, we are going to draw a line which is right. So now it is obvious the intersection of these 2 points, correct? The intersection of these 2 points, it is going to give you which point? I shall mark this point as what?
B.
Small b, right? So it is very obvious. See, these out of this VBQ vector, VBA vector, this point B is the common point. So this should be marked as B. Now just draw the direction. So velocity of B with respect to O or Q, right? And then velocity of B with respect to, so this will be your direction, correct? So now let me draw this with, again with red line. So, okay, this part is over. Now what should be my next step? So what should be my next step? This is fine. That we drew, we know the velocity of all the points in which mechanism? In mechanism O, A, B, Q, right? So now what should be my next step? क्या करना चाहिए अभी?
Find velocity of C.
Very good. So right now, just move to another mechanism, right? So one mechanism is complete. That is, we know the velocity of all these points A, B, and Q, right? O, A, B, Q in this mechanism O, A, B, Q, right? So now just move to this mechanism C, D, Q, right? So whatever you want to call Q, C, D or D, C, Q, right? So let us move to mechanism D, C, Q, and let us talk about this. So first of all, again, let us write down the vector equation for this. So now we are interested to find out the velocity of slider D. So we will write down the vector equation such that velocity of D, right, with respect to Q, this should be equal to velocity of D with respect to C plus velocity of C with respect to Q. Right. So again, we are going to form our vector equation. Now let us check into this vector equation, which quantities are known to us in which are not, right? So let us start with this V. Okay, so let us start with the quantity which is completely known to us. Then we will go to the all these things. So let us start from here. Right? So now V, C, Q vector. So first of all, just tell me, is it known in magnitude? So velocity of C with respect to Q, is it known in magnitude or not?
No.
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So is it possible to find out the magnitude of this? So see, this is the sequence of question which in the manner which you have to think, right? So first you think that is the magnitude known. Then you check for the option. Are there any ways to find out the magnitude of this VCQ vector, right? From the given velocity diagram. So this is the velocity diagram which is given to you. Now just think about this. Is it possible to find this VCQ vector? Okay, so let me mention an important thing. Like C, this point C, it is a common part of this mechanism OABQ and mechanism DCQ. It is common to both the mechanisms, right? So that means if we somehow obtain the velocity diagram for OABQ, then we can find out the velocity of this point C, right? Because this point C is common to both the mechanisms. So that means this point C, it has to do something with the velocity diagram of OABQ, right? So now just tell me, is it possible to find out the magnitude of this VCQ vector? Again, think about this.
Sir, if we can take the point C on QB vector, then suppose QC upon QB.
Right. So now it's very good. So it's now very easy. What you have to simply do, see, if you remember that this C is an intermediate point on this link BQ, right? So if you remember in the last session that we solved such problems, right? So obviously that if we take this ratio, that is velocity of B with respect to Q, right? So now this is known to us, correct? If you observe here, then velocity of C with respect to Q, that means this is also, okay, this is the thing which we need, right? So velocity of C with respect to Q, this is the velocity vector which we want to know in magnitude. So this is known velocity of B with respect to Q. Then velocity of B with respect to, oh, I'm sorry. I think this is sufficient. This is sufficient, right? So it is possible to find out this in magnitude by simply invoking this relation, that is V CQ vector divided by V BQ vector, right? So right now it is in magnitude. This is equal to CQ divided by BQ, right? So from here, from this relation, it is possible to find out the magnitude of this VCQ vector. Now let us come to this, right? So the direction, is the direction of this VCQ node or not?
Yes, it is perpendicular to.
Yes, sir.
Right? So the direction is also known, that is perpendicular to CQ. Now let us move back to these vectors, right? So let us talk about this VDC vector. So is it known in magnitude, or is there any way to find out this VDC vector? I think no. So the magnitude is not known, correct? What is the direction?
Perpendicular to CD.
Very good. So it is perpendicular to this CD, right? Now coming to this VDQ vector, right? Okay, now just tell me this velocity of D with respect to Q, is it known in magnitude?
No, sir.
Huh? Not. So magnitude is not known. Is it known in direction?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what will be the direction of this?
It will be parallel to G.
Right? So see here. So in such situations, you have to always replace this VDQ vector by the vector which is easier to find out, right? So see this VDQ, right? Since this G and Q both are fixed points, so we can simply replace this with velocity of DG vector. That is velocity of D with respect to G, right? And this direction is known, that velocity of D relative to G, it will be always parallel to G, correct? So now the direction is known, correct? So one important thing I want to mention here, many times the people, they get confused, right? See, when we talk this velocity of D related to C, so the direction will be perpendicular to CD. Always remember, although this thing, this slider, it is not going to move in this direction because it is constrained. It is constrained here. But always remember that the velocity of D relative to C, it will always be in a perpendicular direction, right? But due to this constraint of the slider, it is not going to move in this direction. Due to this constraints, it is going to move just parallel to this, right? This point G. Okay. So anything you want to ask?
Yeah, sir. So, sir, the VDC would be having two components, right? One would be, parallel to G, and another one would be perpendicular to G. So the perpendicular one will.
Yeah, you can say like that, but exactly it is not. See, always there are two components, right? So we are trying to find out the resultant. So this is VDC vector. One component will be this. Another one will be VDG vector. right? So yeah, that is correct, that there are two components. Then we are going to find out the resultant of these two, right? So it's obvious, right? So now let us move to this. Now, first of all, let us locate this point C. So how to locate this point C? So now this is very obvious. So now this point C, it can be find out by this relation, that is QC by QB is equal to, right, CQ divided by BQ. Now CQ, what is the value of CQ? So CQ, is it given to us? Let me check. Okay, so CQ is given to us, which is 100 mm. And BQ is given to us, which is 300 mm. So this QC is equal to, right, so QB divided by 3, right? So now you can simply calculate it. You can measure this QB, right? And then you put it here and simply calculate it. So now for now, just tell me that this point C, right? So if I just take it by intuition, so this point C, it should lie close to this point B, or it should lie close to this point Q.
Sir, Q.
Right? So obviously now it is going to lie close to this point Q, right? So it will be, let's say, somewhere here. So we located this point C. Now let us draw these two vectors. So one is CD, then another is this DQ, right? So first of all, how to draw this? Now just tell me this thing quickly. Now it's very easy. So tell me how to draw this VDQ and VDC. See, VCQ vector is now completely known, right? So this is completely known and we finished it. That is velocity of C with respect to Q. So we draw it in the velocity diagram. Now, let's talk about these two, right? So how to draw this? See, the two directions of these two vectors are known, right? Only the magnitudes are not known. So in such cases, what we have to do? See, the common point here is, which is the common point in these two vectors? D, right? So that means we have to locate the point D and our problem will be solved. So now how to locate this point D?
The point D will be the...
With respect to G, the D is sliding.
Right. So
we can mark a straight line from G, and with respect to C, it is rolling.
Right. Right. So now see, this is very obvious. So with respect to D, right, with respect to, G, this VDG vector, it is parallel to G. So now it is very obvious. So let's first draw a straight line through this point G, correct? Now, after that, again, this VDC. So we also know that velocity of C with respect to D, this VDC vector, it is perpendicular to CD. So now throw this point C, right? Draw a line which is perpendicular to this CD. So CD is going somewhere here like this. So now let us draw a line through this. Right? So the intersection of these two, it is going to give you this point D. Right? And then finally, let us draw this with solid lines. Right, and this is your point D. So now we know that the velocity of D with respect to, that means what was our first objective? That is velocity of a slider D. So velocity of a slider D, it will be simply equal to what? OD vector. So this is our final answer. So OD vector you can measure from this point and you can write it down here. Okay, so now let us say what will the angular velocity of QB and AB. So now this is also very obvious. So omega QB, this is going to be equal to V velocity of B with respect to Q divided by this QB length, right? And omega AB, it is again equal to, right, velocity of B with respect to A divided by AB. So now this is very easy, right? So once you know these vectors, you just put the magnitude of these vectors and calculate the angular velocity. So this is one thing. Now let me mention one very, very important thing, right? So see, though here I am drawing this roughly, right? But when you draw it on sheets, so you have to choose your scale very properly. Right? So you have to choose your scale very properly. So let me give you one example. Let's say that this VAO, when I calculated this, it came out to be, let's say 9 point something 6 meter per second. Right? So if I ask you, what should be the scale that I should choose for it, this, right? So what could be a suitable scale which I can choose for this? So can anyone answer?
So 1 unit equals to 2 meter.
1
Unit equals to 2 meter per second.
Right? So 1 unit equal to 2 meter per second. That is one option. Okay, so let's say if I take it 1 mm is equal to 1 meter per second. So will it be fine?
No, sir.
So see, if I take 1 mm is equal to 1 meter per second, right? Then this OA, right? This is finally OA. So this OA vector, that is going to be equal to how much? 9.6 mm, right? That is close to 10 mm. So I think it is possible to draw this, right, on your sheet. But what will happen that your line will be very small. It will be very small. So better then let us again reduce the scale. That is what you do, 1 mm is equal to 0.5 meter per second. Right? Then again you can choose this scale. So this line, it will be slightly lengthy and easier to draw, right? So this 10 mm line will be very short. This is just 1 centimeter, right? So if you choose this scale, then at least you can extend this till 2 centimeter, right? Close to 2 centimeter. So this is how you are going to choose your scale. So I think these all things are like you have already done in your 10th or 12th class, right? So these are very easy things you can easily manage. So only thing that you have to take the pain is understanding this vector equation and how to find out this magnitude of all these vectors, magnitude and direction of all these vectors. So this is the pain which you have to take. So choosing the scale and all those things, that is not very typical. So now let me take a stop for some moment here and just visualize this entire thing, what we have done very clearly, and then let us. So if you have any questions related to this, then please ask. So if you don't get any point. Anything, any question which you want to ask?
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I want to ask that where such, I mean, these types of mechanisms are used.
See, these type of mechanisms, they have wide applications. So one application, see, when we were discussing inversions, so I already gave so many applications. That is Whitworth quick return motion mechanism, right? Then crank and slotted lever mechanism, right? And if you talk of this mechanism, so this mechanism also, see, if there is a slider, so obviously this can be used as a reciprocating pump or maybe as a reciprocating compressor, something like that. So whenever you have such arrangements, let us say slider. Okay, so let me give you one more example. Right now in trains, you will be seeing that this electric trains, right? So they have a mechanism on the top of this electric trains, which we basically call pantograph, right? So this basically this mechanism, it maintains contact with the electric lines, right? It always maintains some contact with the electric lines, so that the electricity can be flown to the engine in order to power this train, right? So that is also one application. So that is basically a pantograph. So what is the purpose of that pantograph? It always moves in a straight line, or let's say this mechanism, it will always remain in touch with the wires, right? It will always remain in touch with the electric wires, and it will always trace a straight line motion, right? So that is another purpose. So there are a number of examples you can take. So whenever you see a slider, generally you can use such application, maybe for reciprocating pump or something like that. Okay, one more important thing, why we need to make our mechanism so much complex? So can anyone just give me a suitable reason, right? So why not, if it is a slider crank mechanism, why don't we use directly, okay, let us go and then use this thing, right? A simple slider crank mechanism. So can anyone give me some reason? what is the reason we are doing this, all these things? So let's say why this mechanism is so much complex, if even if it is going to be used for, let's say, a reciprocating pump or compressor. So can anyone tell me?
Sir, is it related to the number of axes we can use while creating the mechanics?
Right. So that is very good. So this is something which is related to number of axes. So on, or in another way, you can say that this is due to space constraints. Sometimes we have certain space constraints, right? So to manage that space constraints, we draw this complex mechanism. Okay. Another thing, another one is the location, let's say, between the input and the output, the distance between input and output. So let's say if my output, this is located very, very far, and then we have certain space constraints here. So in such cases, we draw such mechanisms, right? Another one, the very, very important thing. Okay. So have you heard something about mechanical advantage? Does anyone know about this mechanical advantage?
Sir, we can see the mechanical advantage in the levers.
Right. So what is a mechanical advantage?
So by giving a less force, you can convert it into more force.
Very good. So, right, this is another example, right? Another way that sometimes we design the mechanism in such a way to obtain this higher mechanical advantage, because ultimately what is happening? We are giving torque to this OA, right? And here this slider is reciprocating, correct? So this slider is also doing some work, and here we are providing some work, correct? So let's say if we obtain higher work at the output, and the work input is very less as compared to the this one, the work output, right? So that means we can obtain a higher mechanical advantage using this mechanism. So we can actually arrange the length of these links, right? So we can arrange the shape, the length of all these links to obtain a higher mechanical advantage at this output. So this is one another reason, right? So we design such kind of mechanism. So I think like now it's clear. Okay, so now let us move to second problem. So this problem you have to solve yourself. So I will just guide you, but try to solve it yourself. Okay, so now let me draw the mechanism. So the angle is given 30°. So see, what is the purpose of this angle? This angle will just help you to draw this OA vector, right? So, or you can say AO vector, velocity of A with respect to O. So always note this point also, right? So these angles will be helping you to draw this AO vector. Now let us move to this. G. This is your point D. aligned at 30 degree. Right. So now these are the things which are given to you. So this is the configuration, and always remember this configuration is given at a particular instant of time. That means when this crank OA is the screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
somewhere I lost my connection, man. So now this is the instant when this OA, right, crank OA, it is making 30 degree with the vertical. So always keep this in mind that this configuration is going to change. The velocity diagram, that is also going to change because this configuration is given for a particular instant of time. Right? So now this lengths are given, that is OA is equal to 300 mm, AB is given as 600 mm, AC is equal to BD is equal to 1.2 meter. Then the speed of OA is given, that is omega OA, that is given is equal to 200 RPM in clockwise direction. So I think it's a very easy problem. You can easily solve it. So first of all, I have to find out first linear velocities of C and D. And then next you have to find out angular velocities of links AC and BD. Okay, so this is the case. Now let us start this thing and just tell me quickly. So how to proceed for this? So what we have to do first? So we will do it. We will solve this problem in a similar way as we did before, right? So just tell me how to solve this problem, from where we should proceed.
First we draw OA.
Okay. So see, always remember the step. First, to break this mechanism, complex mechanism into simpler mechanism. So what are the two simpler mechanisms which we can derive from here?
Sir,
OAC and DBC.
OAC and DBC. Okay. So one is OAC. So see, once you become an expert into this, then these things are not required. But initially, like, let us always go through like this. Otherwise, you will become confused. So OAC and DBC. So now let us start with OAC. Right. So just tell me quickly which vectors are known to us, which are not. Or let us say, like, let us try to figure out what will be the vector equation. So what will be the vector equation? Which vector equation we should write first?
Sir, OC equals to OA plus AC.
Right. So OC is equal to OA plus
AC.
AC. Correct. So very good. So see, always you have, when you have such kind of things, right? So just see this velocity of VC vector, that is also not known to us. So what we can do, we can simply go for this. So now you can write down that, see, this A is known. So what is the next point in this mechanism? This B, right? So this point is common to this also. So let us leave this point, right? So just go to the next point, that is this point C. So now, first of all, you simply write down that velocity of C with respect to O, this is equal to velocity of C with respect to A, right? Velocity of C with respect to A plus velocity of A with respect to O, correct? So now quickly tell me that which vectors are known to us and which are not. So now I'm not going to do all those analysis. So just tell me here very quickly. So which is completely known in magnitude and direction. So now let us magnitude, direction. So see, this is very easy way. Just write it like this, right? And you can easily figure out. So now let us start with this one. So is it known in magnitude and direction, both?
Yes, sir.
Right. So what will be the magnitude of this? This is simply omega OA into OA. This is known, right? Direction?
Perpendicular to OA.
Perpendicular to OA. So what is the direction? Perpendicular to OA. Now come to this VCA vector, right? Is it known in magnitude or direction? Velocity of C, then with respect to A. Is it known in magnitude? First of all, is it known in magnitude?
Sir.
No.
Yes or no?
No, sir.
Right? Is it known in direction?
Yes,
Obviously,
sir.
this is perpendicular to what? CA,
AC.
right? Yeah, or you can say AC or CA, whatever you wish. Right? Now, velocity of C with respect to O, is it known in magnitude? Obviously, no. So, is it known in direction?
No, sir.
No.
Yes.
Yes, sir. It will be parallel to O.
Parallel.
If you replace this with simply VCG vector,
Yes, sir.
both O and fixed are, so we know the direction. This will be parallel to G, right? Now see, the vector equation is available here. Now it is very easy to draw this, right? So just take this point, these 2 points O, then comma this G, then comma this. Let us call this fixed point as E. O, G, E, right? Now from O, draw this velocity vector, AO vector, right? And I think it is in clockwise direction. So this OA will go downwards, right? It will go somewhat like here, right? So it is in clockwise. So this is going to be downwards, right? Now from G, draw a line which is parallel to this G. So one is this one, right, which is parallel, and then another is from, okay, so just tell me now what to do after this. So see, this vector I draw, this VCG vector I drew, that from this point G, or you can say O, I draw a line which is parallel to this capital G. Now what about this?
So perpendicular to AC, C would be?
From which point I shall start?
Sir, from A.
From A, draw a line perpendicular to what?
AC.
Perpendicular to AC. So this is somewhere your AC. From A, draw a line perpendicular. So this is your point C. So see, this velocity diagram is very easy. I think it's not that much typical. Right? Now, okay, this is fine. Now, can you find out this velocity of a slider? Now let me ask you, what should be my next step? Now just go to DBC and form the vector equation there. So now the vector equation for DBC, it says simply, since we are interested into this, so velocity of D with respect to E, that is, sorry, velocity of D with respect to G. So VDG vector, that is going to be equal to velocity of D, right, with respect to B plus velocity of B with respect to this C. Correct? Now you can simply replace this VDG vector by VDE vector, right? That is equal to VDB vector plus VBC vector. And you can simply run a parallel analysis, something similar to this, right? So magnitude, direction, magnitude, direction, magnitude, direction. And then finally you can draw all these velocity vectors. So will you be able to do this or not? So is it possible for all of you? Can you draw this? Can anyone just draw this and send me a photograph just right now into the chat box? So just draw it roughly and just send me a pic so that I want to see that you are getting these things or not. So are you drawing or not? So just try to draw this and send me a pic in the chat box, right?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, where?
Sir, in the first first O.
Can you repeat? Your voice is breaking.
I didn't get the first vector equation of OC. Sir, could you please repeat it?
Okay, this one. So see, this is very easy.
Yes,
First
sir. Sir,
vector,
okay.
okay, so first vector is equation is simply velocity of C with respect to O. This is going to be equal to velocity of C with respect to A plus velocity of A with respect to O. So I think this is not that much complex. Is it clear now, the vector equation?
Yes, sir.
So has anyone drawn? So whatever roughly, if you can draw and send me a pic, right? Okay, then let's do one thing. Maybe like it could be difficult for you to send photographs and all those things. So better let me ask you, like what should be the next step? Now, how to proceed?
Sir, to locate the point B, which would be the center of AC.
Right. So first we will locate the point B. So let's say like point B located. So to locate the point B, what we need to do, that is BC
AC upon
upon
BC.
CA is simply equal to BC upon, right, AC. So this is known to us. These two dimensions are known, and BC we can easily calculate. So let us say your point C, it is now somewhere here, right? Oh, sorry, your point B is now somewhere here, let us say. So this point B is located. Now what is the next step? After this, what should we do?
Sir, then from O to B.
From O
to B.
B. No.
Sir, from B, we will draw a line perpendicular to BD.
Right, very good. So now see, this is very easy. So now we are interested to locate this point. To locate this point D, which is common to these two. So once the magnitude of one of the vectors is completely known, you can simply ignore that. Now you can simply through this point B, right? Draw a line which is perpendicular to BD. So this is your BD somewhere going here. And now you draw a line through this perpendicular to BD. And what should be the next step after this? After this, what should be the next step?
So
we are interested to locate this point D, right?
Yes,
so this
sir.
VBC vector, now it is completely known to us. Only these two vectors are remaining. And the direction of these two vectors are known, right? So just tell me quickly, what should be my next step?
Draw a horizontal line at O.
At O, parallel to what?
E.
Right. So see, this is very obvious. So this VDE vector, it will be always parallel to this point E, right? So from point O, or you can say through this point E, draw a line which is parallel to this point E, right? So now this is your point D. Now you can easily say this is your OD, right? And this is the vector which we actually need. So the linear velocity of C, so C, you can simply calculate that C, linear velocity of C will be simply equal to, right? So linear velocity of C, that is VC vector, is simply equal to what? OC vector. And linear velocity of DVD vector is simply equal to what? So I hope like all these things are now clear to all of you. So let us stop for today. I think it's enough. And in the next session, we will be going for instantaneous center method, right? So see, the numericals you can practice from SS Ratan book. That book is sufficient. So many numericals are there, right? So even if you practice the solved numericals, that is also sufficient. And maybe by today or tomorrow, I will give you one assignment as well. I think for the first chapter, right? So be just prepared and just keep practicing. The SS Ratan book is sufficient. Just keep practicing from that book, right? So that you can solve all these problems in the examination as well, right? Okay, so is there anything else which you want to ask? Then shall I end the meeting? Any doubt? Anything which you want to ask? Anyone?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So one thing I would like to mention, see, this is the just velocity analysis. So you need practice. So once I finish this, immediately go and like practice it every day, because once we move to acceleration analysis, right? So that is far, far difficult than this velocity analysis. This is nothing. This is very simple. So just have a good amount of practice on this velocity diagrams, because for acceleration diagrams, it becomes much more complex, right? Okay. Thank you then. Thank you all of you.